Namaste, Hari Om. Welcome. Today I have a very, very special guest, and you will be acknowledging the fact that every one of you who are looking at the interview today, who are listening to me today, would definitely admire and adore this person. She is Lata Venkat ma'am. We call her Lata Ma out of love and affection. Latama is here today. Welcome, Latama, for today's interview. I'm very happy. I'm super excited to have you. Now, Latama.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Latama. Talking about Latama, she is a commerce graduate, and the main goal in life was to give back as much to the society. And she truly believes that we need each other to be that change that is so important. And her mother is the greatest inspiration during her youth time. And she started tiny steps into social work by teaching whatever to the underprivileged children. Well, coming back to this, I would say the one person I want to become in my future is Latama. Many of us, in the counseling class, admired Latama and used to, think about us how it's going to be if we are having just the 10% of good qualities what Latama is having. She is that very special to all of us. Coming back to her social work, and it flourished after her marriage, and her mother-in-law became another figurehead of inspiration. So journey began at Mitra Jyoti, a school for the blind, and Ma has recorded books and spent quality time with them. Also, Ma is associated with Samarthanam. It's the disabled children's school, and Swadhara, a destitute home for women, from the past 15 years, and also as a counselor for the past 3 years. So as a service, she counsels children from grade 4 to grade 10 at Lawrence High School. Also, Latama is a counselor at the Indian Cancer Society and VFC as well. So later, coming back to the ideas of her thinking and her cause, also Latama is associated with a lot of donation camps and donating. She donates blood regularly. She celebrates birthdays of children at children homes. She has a lot of feathers in her cap. I know it's going to take a long time for me to read all of this. So she is with Meet the Pause and Reloading Green, and environmental initiative, and also Golden Heroes, assisting elders in old age homes, traffic nights, Stand By Them, and survivors of rape, acid victims, and members and of LGBT community. Also, coming back to her dream of becoming a traffic warden. I'm sure if you see Latama in the sari now, you would feel like a goddess sitting in front of us. But when she is in on her duty, it's a totally different game. So she is a traffic warden now, and her dream was fulfilled in 2009. Also, she's with the Bangalore Traffic Police. So to make the most of the lockdown due to Corona, she started reading and engaged in a lot of counseling sessions and multiple courses, also webinars from NIMHANS and ICS and AIC, that's Indian Autism Center. Personally, Ma thinks volunteerism is the voice of the people put into action. It's not going to be easy, but it will be worth it. Oh, wow, Latama, what an introduction. Oh my God, I'm sure everybody would admire you now, and you are the epitome of grace and courage. I have seen both in you. And when we look at you, it is usually, the Devi of Durga, maybe Durga and Saraswati. You have both within you. I'm super
Thank you.
humbled. I'm super, super honored and privileged to have you in my show today, Latama.
Reciprocate your feelings. I too am very, very happy to come into your show. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Now, what do you think of women empowerment in today's society, Ma?
empowerment, as the word itself suggests, it is a process of becoming stronger and more confident,
Yes.
especially in controlling one's own life.
Mm-hmm.
It can be social, educational, political, psychological, or economical.
Yes.
Physically, emotionally, monetarily being independent rather than being dependent on people.
Correct. Correct.
That is, we are in control of our own lives.
Yes.
Okay, that means when you ask me, women empowerment in India, has it reached 100%? No, definitely it's halfway through.
Okay.
But what we were a couple of years ago, we have definitely crossed more than 25%.
Correct.
And you can always say that a woman is empowered when she stops doing what she is expected to do always. A woman should be like this, a woman should be like that.
Yes.
Instead, once you start doing what you really feel like doing,
correct,
not when somebody forces you to do,
yes,
then comes the real empowerment. Like,
yes,
we had lot of examples, like when you say Mother Teresa, Indira Gandhi, Mary Kom, Kalpana Chawla, they're all women who are, we can't even compare ourselves with them. They have set a very, very high benchmark.
Yes.
And we definitely are taking our baby steps into becoming, though not as great as them, at least to some extent.
Correct.
And these days, women are becoming more conscious about their health, their education, their careers, their jobs, their responsibilities, not only to the family, but even to the society and to the country.
Yes.
Like education and empowered mother is like a full cup. You can't pour out from an empty cup. So if an educated mother is there in every family, it contributes to an educated child.
Yes.
That child, educated adult, and that adult will contribute to the economy, to the upbringing of the society as well, which will definitely showcased in the country.
Yes.
That's what I feel. Empowerment is really, really, really great.
Yes. Yes.
That's what has to be needed these days.
And
if I may also include this, it doesn't even start with that. See, in this last 4 months, at least 3 girl children from Uttar Pradesh in India have called off their marriages. Hardly 12 to 13 years old. Because of the lockdown period and all this, parents were thinking them as a burden. They wanted to get the girls married off. They were brave enough to muster and call the cops. They do not. 3 people have called off their marriage. Hats off to them.
Hats off. Seriously. I mean, that's a big shift for a girl of that age to think that way. Yes. Very well said, Latama. Yes. Coming back to the art of giving, like this whole concept of giving to others, charity, donation, seeing happiness in their smiles, in their eyes, that we have seen that in you. You have really that nurturing factor in you. How do we adopt and adapt to this great quality of giving in our lives without expecting anything back?
I do see there will be a time when we as individuals, it varies from person to person. Okay. Giving is the most precious human act anybody can do. The art of giving teaches us to help others without expecting anything in return. Less literally. See, anybody and everybody, or most of us these days, can help by giving money. But there are very few people who can give them the time. Time is the main factor over here. And I'm very proud to say that, see, I'm giving not because I have something in excess. I know what it is not to have had it. I have undergone all this in my own life. I know what it is not to have food. I know what it is not to have a blanket. I know what it is. So somewhere down the lane, God has been so kind enough, and I have a very, very supporting husband and both my sons. A very supporting family is required if you have to pursue your dreams further. So they have been very supportive, and that is where I found that, yes, whatever I do, my family stands behind me.
Correct.
And I had a mother, and definitely you just have to be so strong that whatever anybody might tell, just turn a blind ideals that nobody's absence or presence or nobody's comments or remarks should disturb your inner peace.
Correct.
That is what is more important. The more you give, the more you get. The more you give, the more you get. That is what we feel. And when you do something, it is just that you don't expect anything in return. The way the people hug you and say, thank you for doing this to me. May God bless you. It's not whether we believe in God. See, they are the people who we are seeing right in front of us who do not have anything. When we start giving it to them, we see we are serving people. That they are my real gods. The way they hug me and tell me, we are happy that you have done. We don't know why you do this for me, but we are really happy about it. That sense of belongingness, thank God, I'm really happy. Everybody will get that. It will take time. Only the time frame, it just shifts, varies from person to person.
Yes. Wow. Very, very well put across. Latama, you said your mother has been an inspiration for you. Can you give us certain instances as to when you felt like you're learning those fundamentals from your mother, and that's going to stay with you for a lifetime?
Yes, that has to be there. See, there are not one or two, there are many, many examples, but something which I can remember.
Yes.
See, I was born with a golden spoon, a super rich family.
Yes.
But what happened was, due to some circumstances, the business, what my dad was doing, went down. We were on the streets, literally on the streets the next day. We did not know what to do. And Dad was really shaken. It was my mother who gave him the courage, told that no problem, whatever happens, we will overcome.
Yes.
And she pledged all her jewels, got the money, and out of that money, she started doing it. Like what you say, with that money itself, she used to give my father advice, what he has to do, what he shouldn't do, what are the other jobs he can take.
Yes.
She made him study more so that he can achieve promotions in his work.
Wow. Wow.
And that was the real empowerment what I saw, because when a man is shattered, most of us think that
it's over, the families. Yes, yes.
No, that women were created to do things what men couldn't.
Correct.
Men, yes, I'm not saying we are superior or we are very low to them. No, we are able to do what they cannot do. We have patience. We can literally think two things, multitasking in the sense that not everything. Like I can think about my home, I can think about my job. It is like that.
Yes, yes.
And whenever there was a time when my mom sat down to eat, and there was a beggar outside. I don't know, these days we don't get beggars outside the house. There was a beggar who came, She literally got up, gave what was in her plate to them and said, see, today I can make and I can eat, but that lady cannot find it in another house. That stuck a chord with me,
Yes.
Yes, when we can provide ourselves another meal,
correct,
we have to give to them. That is what stuck a chord with me.
Oh, wow. My God. Seriously, Ma, there's so much to resonate with. And these little things will stay with us, for a long, long, long time. Okay. Coming back to your mother-in-law, you also mentioned your mother-in-law played an important role in wherever you are today, your perception about life. Can you give a little more insight into that?
Yeah. Frankly speaking, I'm really gifted to have a mother-in-law like her. I'm really humbled that I could come into such a great family like my mother-in-law.
Wow.
If you can see, my mother-in-law is a very, very great Bharatanatyam dancer.
Oh, wow.
She used to run the Ganesha Natya Mandira in Gandhi Bazaar, Bangalore, which had more than 300 to 500 students.
Okay.
And the home was like a langar. 24/7. In those days, we used to put the firewood at the back of the house and we used to cook when there was a festival. And in my mother-in-law's house, that was always there. right from the sweepers to the persons who clean toilets to the servants who come home. Everybody, known people, unknown people, can come into the house, right the back door, eat what they want and leave.
Wow.
It was like that. She used to provide like that. And let me tell you, she has done all this in her own earnings. She has not taken any money from any of her children. All this she was being able to do with the money she was collecting from the dance school. And for those people who did not know, who couldn't afford the dance, she used to keep a small box outside, no fees charged for them. Whenever they can put 50 paisa, 1 rupee, 2 rupee, anything what they want. And if they cannot, it is not a problem to them. And you know that, I don't know whether I can say this or not, the former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha,
yes,
she is a student of my mother. Jayalalitha and my mother-in-law were very close friends. And
nice.
Jaya is the family name that comes to them.
Okay.
And to just keep up with the friendship, Jayalalitha's mom named her daughter after my mother-in-law, Lalita.
Oh, wow. My God. So nice, Latama.
Thank you. Like after all this, also, my mother-in-law was awarded the Karnataka Kalatilaka award by the government of Karnataka. And we are proud to say that even to this day, there are students who are taking her dances forward, where we are at the backstage helping whatever we could.
Yes, I'm sure your mother-in-law will be super proud to see you today, to do so much to the society, and also to make her name shine through you.
Yes. Thank you. I really hope so.
Yes, Latama. Latama, can you turn the camera? Actually, it's in a narrow position. Can you turn it to side? Like this? Yes. Now it's clear. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. And now, Latama, coming back to parenting, you said you have 2 sons, and we have also seen them how they are so fundamentally strong and emotionally strong, and also they are, so humble in a way, and the whole upbringing. Can you give important important techniques, or how did you bring up your sons as to being such beautiful individuals of their own?
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely. I would love to give credit, more than 80% of that upbringing, to my husband, Venkat.
Wow. Okay.
Because 98% of the qualities what my children have,
yes,
has come right from Venkat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My husband is a person who is filled with gratitude always in life. And the children, they have to listen to whatever you say, not for the sake of giving back answers.
Yes.
It is to just listen, imbibe it like a sponge, and then think, and pause, answer.
Yes.
And see, these days, in our age of upbringing, we were all, it was like not a bond tied up, like it was an invisible rope that tied us to our parents.
Correct. 100%.
Just by the look of the eye, we would know what our mothers are saying.
Yes.
But it is not so these days.
Yes.
We have to, the first thing we have to treat our children right from the younger age is that they are individuals. Yes. They can take decisions on their own.
Yes.
They will be able to take decisions once they fail in whatever they do.
Yes.
They will learn from their failures. It's okay. 1 year failed, or you do not know what you have needs. You muster courage that, yes, I have failed here. This is the lesson I learned from that.
Correct.
And you have to just think, like, insult me. Children should never think that. Why did she insult me? Instead, if they ask the question like that, is you taking up the responsibility for yourself.
Correct.
When you start thinking in that manner, something, matures. And children, they do not do what we tell them to do.
Correct.
They do what they see.
Yes, and observe.
And
yes.
as parents, yes, as parents, we are compatible. Yes, trivial fights, all this happens in all the families.
Yes, yes.
When they come along, they see parents, how they are doing, how they are treating the children. First, like a degree earned to the children.
Yes.
And we can always say by the way the mother is, like how your husband treats you, you know.
Correct.
You can say that he was raised by a queen.
Yes.
Like
yes.
his father should have treated his wife very, very great.
Yes.
That is the reason your husband is treating you so good.
Yes. Yes.
And that will be the reason why my sons will treat their wives equally.
Very nice. Wow.
So that's what I feel.
Usually they say, you have to ensure that your girl child is equipped with all these skills when she goes to the husband's house. But I think, Latama, what you said makes more sense, because the man is also ready to receive her and also embrace her beautifully as she is.
Yeah, we should respect that woman as an individual.
Yes.
She is not a servant. She doesn't come home to iron your clothes or make food for you. No. Correct. You are equally responsible to cook. Both my children know cooking, and every Sunday they take turns in cooking. They have to be equipped with that skill.
Correct. Very nicely told. Latama, coming back to your own personality.
Thank you.
Coming back to your own, it's getting cut. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Okay. I think my internet is the problem. Okay. Latama, coming back to your personality. You are so strong in your value system. Plus, you are so lively. You are so happy in embracing people as they are, not being judgmental. There's a thin line between both the aspects. Some people do say that this is what I am, and I am going to be along with people who are like me. But you get along with every section of the society. It depends. Nevertheless, if the child is 1 year old to a grandma of 90-year-old, you are like a cherry on the cake. You embrace life so beautifully.
That's what I really thank you. I did not know it until you said that. Thank you for that huge compliment.
Yes.
Definitely, it made my day. Thank you. The first reason I would say is always be happy.
Yes.
It is one life. You have come down here. You don't know what time you're going to go.
Correct.
In that span of time, there is nothing to be sad about or anything. What you are today is a gift by God itself.
Correct.
Or if you do not believe in God, it's an external energy.
Correct.
So whatever it is, there is no time to crib, no jealousy, don't feel, oh, she has it, I don't have it. No. Be happy with what you have.
Yes.
Do not crib that you do not have something. Like, you always get what you deserve. Not what you desire.
Yes.
Not what you desire, abundant.
Correct.
I am confident. I am enough for myself. I do not depend on anybody.
Correct.
And there is a fine line between your socializing and your being at home, the pujas and everything. What you do. That, again, I would love to thank my husband Venkat for that, because whenever I counsel Ritik, go and pray inside. For 2 hours, I won't come out of the room. And when I come out, my husband will say, Lata, that's enough. What you have done for God is enough.
Yes.
Now you have come out, it is your life.
Correct.
Go out, go with your friends, enjoy your day. You are not some saint or some guru or anything. You divide your line. This is what you will allow for the family. This is what you will allow for your own self. This is what you give to God. Wow. You have to be very clear in all that.
Yes.
And I must say, I have been blessed, because My husband understands me, and he
100%.
was the one who inculcated all these habits into me.
Wow.
I'm really blessed.
I think I know who my next interview will be with. Venkat sir, of course. It will be a pleasure to have you both. Ma, also,
Wow.
sometimes some people are very strong from the outside and they know exactly what they are, they know exactly where they are. But is there a point where you will feel low at times? And what do you actually do when you feel low? If you have a low moment in your life.
Definitely, yes. As a person, as a human being, you can't be happy always.
Always, yes, yes.
You won't know the value of happiness
Correct.
if there is no sadness.
Yes.
So what happens is, when you're really low, sometimes, you feel you have everything,
Correct.
but it feels like you don't have everything. Anything at all.
Yes.
It will be like that.
Yes.
So at that point of time, who are you to blame? You cannot blame other people. The first problem what many people do for the low phase in their life is they blame other people.
Yes.
Where you are today, it is your responsibility. Like they say, Shankaracharya has told, Aham Brahmasmi.
Yes.
You are responsible for what you are.
Correct.
So when you start taking responsibility of your sadness, your success, your happiness, your being so good, everything, you will realize. And when you are sad, or just take whatever is your hobby, start doing it. Or start writing a letter to yourself. This has been very, very effective. Start writing sad. What is your low phase?
Yes.
Start writing a letter to it. And by the time you finish that letter, you will be so empowered that you will have the answer right over there.
Wow.
Oh, that's it. I can solve it in that. It's always like that.
That's such a good technique to sit down and write down and then analyze and interpret. Yes.
When you put it on a paper, your thoughts keep just vibrating in your mind.
Yes.
And the more you write, it's always like that.
Wow.
When you start writing, that is something else.
Wow.
And let me tell you one more thing. It is okay not to be okay. Understand that. It is not that you have to be 100% perfect in everything.
Correct.
As humans, we do have problems.
Yes.
You have to solve. It is a challenge. Just solve and go. Not that every will have problem.
Correct.
You just have to know. And it's okay. Take a shower, cry how much ever you want. It's okay to cry out.
Yes.
Yeah, just go. Or you get into the forest. Shout as long as you want. Come back.
Yes.
Let that negative energy come out of you.
Yes.
The more you stack it up inside, the more negative person you're going to become.
True.
So that's how it is always done.
Wow, that's such an insight, Latama. One more thing, this concept of let go and move on. Sometimes it comes back to a situation, one incident in my life that changed my life. It is because of that, it is because of this, and I'm still stuck in that incident. After so many years, my mind goes back to that incident. So how do you let go, forgive a person and move on? I mean, personally also, I want to ask you this because for me, it had been extremely difficult to let go certain things or certain emotions and move on in my life.
Smita, I think this is a very, very good, brilliant question which is being asked by you, because most of us suffer from this. Most of us, including me. Like what happens? How to let go and move on?
Yes.
Like what happens is moving on doesn't mean you don't love that person from whom you're moving on. But it means you love yourself more. You respect yourself more. You value yourself more.
Wow.
Self-confidence plays a very, very vital role here. The thing that you are enough to carry this life, that itself is the greatest beginning. Like, if I ask you, Smita, what makes you happy in the world? Who makes you happy in the world? If you say somebody apart from you, the problem is right there. The reins of your happiness should never be given into the hands of another person. It should be with you and only you. Only then you will be able to go. You create your own happiness. You believe in yourself. And when you start inculcating those habits into you, it's very, very good. They would have insulted you or something that stays over there. But what you have to insult me? You can always ask that. Why do I feel insulted? Okay. Then when you start asking that questions, life becomes easier. And we are not disturbed by the things actually, but we are disturbed by the views what we take on them.
Correct.
We should always inculcate the habit of responding to people, not reacting. So responding is different. Reacting is different. And in your life, whatever it happens, you just have to keep saying to yourself, you never lose. You either win or you learn a lesson.
Oh, God,
and when you stop thinking, in terms of limitations and start thinking in terms of possibilities, moving on becomes easier. It is very difficult for us to just move. Very familiarized by this person, and we think we cannot move ahead without him or her. What happens is we are afraid of the unknown. Will I be able, that self-doubt, will I be able to do it? At the back of the mind. Always all about never mind.
Oh, yes.
A rejection does not mean you are not good enough. It means the other person has failed to notice what you have to give.
Wow.
They have not deserved what you have to give. It is their problem.
Correct. After listening to this, Latama, I feel that I need to talk to, I think more than 100 people or something, where I just closed myself up to certain situations and certain incidents. This letting go and taking it light and moving on is so important in our lives. Thank you for bringing this up, Amma.
It is, and I just want to add on to that, you have to be so strong enough in your life to stand alone.
Yes.
You have to be smart enough also to know when you need help.
Correct.
And you have to be brave enough to ask people to help you.
Correct.
There's absolutely no, even the strongest person, at times, they just need a pat at the back and say, it's okay, everything's going to be all right.
Yes.
It's always
100%. Yes, so true. As I'm talking to you, I'm feeling so positive in whatever I'm thinking, in this whole aspect of counseling and introspecting about certain aspects in life, which is so important, fundamental. This whole concept of thinking positive. How do you get that, Latama? Actually, it's so eminent and prominent in the way you talk, in the way you discuss things, in the way you analyze things. What is this power of positivity?
Positive power, like what you say, there is a book on what to say when you talk to yourself.
Okay.
That's a book by Stellar. That's a very, very good book that you want to ask a question to me.
Yes.
You ask a question, your thoughts.
Yes.
Okay, you ask me a question. First, your mind is the one which is receiving it, and then you are telling it.
Yes.
So it is always that we have to be very, very careful about the words we use, we talk, everything. Because our first listener is, there's a saying, like birds of the same feather flock together.
Yes.
Yeah. You will attract what you are.
Oh,
you will attract what you want.
Correct.
What beliefs that you carry, you will attract only such people of the same beliefs.
Oh, yes.
Such being the case, how would you want to think? Positive or negative?
Positive.
When you need to attract positiveness,
we need to be positive.
Always want. See, and and there is something called as the RAS, that is called as the reticular activating system in our brain. Okay. It is like watchmen to our brain. And that is where our beliefs and habits are being stored.
Okay.
It is being programmed by what we see and what we hear.
Okay.
If you feed your RAS with positive things, it will work like a genie in your mind. You know,
Wow.
Genie is something you ask and you get it like
yes,
that.
Yes, yes.
It is like that. By seeing an apple, for example,
yes.
If I ask you what seed was planted for this fruit, what answer would you give me?
Apple seed, of course.
It was an apple.
Yes.
The same way for actions. It was always congruent to the roots.
Correct.
Right? So when you are sowing a seed of positivity, the fruits that come out also has to be a positive one.
Wow.
And to get that positivity into you, you always have to have some positive affirmations in your life.
Correct.
Like, see, every morning you be filled with gratitude. The moment you get up, thank God for a warm bed.
Yes.
Thank God I'm alive and breathing. Thank God I have a roof above me. There are so many people who don't have.
Yes.
You get up from your bed, feel grateful. Gratitude is got a very long way to get into this. And you should have some lots of positive affirmations. I love myself for being honest and soul.
Yes.
Like, I give space to learn, to grow.
Yes.
I accept myself with all my flaws.
True.
It's okay not to be okay. Yes, I have problems, I can solve it. I'm really happy that way. When you start feeling that way, then positivity gets into your system.
Correct. Very, very well said, Ma. It's really, it's opened up so many perspectives as to how to stay positive. And this example of apple seed, oh my God, it is so simple, but such a profound analogy. Really, really nice. Latama,
what we sow is
what we reap. Yes. One important question. Everybody has experienced failure in our lives, maybe family wise, work wise, friendship wise, or maybe different aspects. Maybe a simple thing of not getting what I expected or not getting what I deserve. Why me? What wrong have I done? I'm a good person. So why am I failing to get myself up there? So how do you deal with situations where people feel really, really low and they feel that they have failed in life?
Okay.
It's not their issue, actually. It's not their problem.
I know.
Yes.
To start with, I will just tell. Just because a chapter is bad, the story does not end there.
Yes.
You still have the full book to read. It might be a chapter is bad, that's all.
Correct.
So going up, I and she or I and he started in the same time, but they have gone up very easily. I have not.
Correct.
Stagnant.
Correct.
Why? Okay, let me give you a small example. You and me and a couple of friends go to a hotel.
Okay.
We order. I order a South Indian meal. You order a naan and some curry or something like that. Everything, and somebody orders just noodles. So everybody has ordered, and what will happen is the noodles will come first. Why? Single ingredient.
Oh, yes.
Your chapati and your naan and your side dish will come 2 ingredients.
Okay.
My thali will take time because I have around 8 to 10 ingredients.
Yes.
It might be, yes, your approach to life is also like that. When you have so much, what much of time you give, why is it failing? Step. Sometimes to just bounce and get that extra step, you have to take a foot back. To get that balance, to get that ability and jump forward.
True.
It is always like that, reaching your goals. I think it's okay. Sit where you have gone wrong, where you feel you have gone wrong.
Correct.
Because if we have not succeeded, others are not to be blamed. It is our own self that has to be blamed.
Correct.
we will see where we have gone wrong. Sometimes when we say, oh, those people, they have reached such a great level. Why not me?
Correct.
That itself is putting us in a negative situation. It's like a simpler task. The task what you have chose might be she is going for a salary for around 2 crores, 3 crores.
Yes.
But your attitude, your aim would be like you need it for 50 crores. It will take time.
True.
Like it will come point after point after point.
Correct.
Just as segments. So if I sit here and I say, I want to go to Smita's house.
Yes.
I can visualize where your house is.
Correct.
But I cannot see the entire route to your house. Probably I can see myself in the end of the road.
Correct.
Once I go there, the route is much forward.
Oh, yes.
Once I go there, I see the further route. Go step by step by step.
Yes. Yes.
You analyze where your problem is. Can it be? How else it can be true? Have I made it clear, or
yes.
you want me to explain?
No. It's really simple examples, and you're connecting it with such profound theories. Really, so interesting to listen to you, Ma. Also, one last question for you today. They say two women can't become good friends, or it's women have this factor of jealousy, have this factor of selfishness. They don't want the other women to come up in life like that. It's a common myth, maybe, because I have my friends who are with me. But generally speaking, even in the offices, they say, oh, she's a woman boss, I don't want to work with her, and stuff like that. So, but you are a person, whom everybody, like I told you, from a 1-year-old to a 90-year-old, apart from their gender, male, female, anything, they all adore you because you have that warmth in you. So how do you manage to keep that balance of not getting the factors of different jealousy and other factors, which is a little negative compared to a positive approach?
Yeah, that's very, very important in life. Like, what you said, two women can't get along.
Correct.
To some extent, that theory is true, really true. To some extent.
Correct.
See, the only person two women can get along is your mother.
Yes.
That is because she just lets go of anything and everything you do. You get empowered as they get educated, as they move out in their careers. Correct. They see how to treat people. Correct. It is a myth that no two women can be together, or they cannot sync very well, or cannot be congruent with each other. It is wrong.
Correct.
One. Second one. See, when you ask me, lots of boys as friends, more than girls. There are only boyfriends, only boys.
Okay.
And that continues even to this day. I have more of boys as friends,
Yes, yes.
And I had a comment from a guy, like saying, how do you know him? Why did you wish him on his birthday? And things like that. I said, he's my friend. So what? And that is why. And they started giggles and all that when we met in a reception. Correct. And the very next day, I just put it in a Facebook profile, like a saying I just put. A man and a woman, apart from your spouses, can be best friends.
Of course.
It's not the physical intimacy that counts.
Correct.
You can have a mental wavelength match. You can have the soul connect. Correct. That is called as a true friendship.
True.
When you do not bother what society says.
Correct.
What is the social stigma attached?
Correct.
Then you will be able to move ahead in life very, very quickly.
Correct.
You have to satisfy your soul first, not the society.
Yes.
First, satisfy yourself. I am happy. I am me.
Yes.
Somebody calls Lata is a dog. I don't start barking. I don't start walking on all my fours.
Correct.
I know I'm a person.
Yes.
I am enough. I don't need any validation from anybody.
Correct. Well said.
When you start thinking in that aspect,
Yes.
This comes from other friends and all. When you have an understanding family, they know in and out. They're not bothered.
Correct.
I know what my wife is. I know what my mother is.
Yes.
That is an added advantage to me at this end over here.
True.
So that is when you can be very, very. Think that you are enough.
Correct.
You know what you're doing is good or bad. You don't need validation from anybody at progress in life.
That's so true. So true. Well, I thought of, I think, 4 or 5 questions, but I've asked you so many questions down the line. I don't want to let you go, Latama. I mean, you're so nice to listen to. You're so positive. Okay. Can I have one last question, please?
Please.
Okay. Some techniques of having that strong self-confidence.
It's not the technique. There is nothing like, okay, you do this sum, you will get 10 marks. Correct. It's not like you do that. Confidence is something that is built brick by brick by brick. And the habits, once you fail, it is left to you. You know, people always say, correct, when people throw stones at you, it is left up to you whether you build bridges or you build walls. It is left to you. And if you are positive, you will build a bridge. And when someone does something wrong to you, when you do the same wrong to them, you know, yes, there's no difference between them and you. Correct. When you keep saying somebody does something wrong, forgive them. They must be undergoing through a lot of pains. It is not about you. It is about them. Correct. Let go. After some, give them love. That is what they need at that time. True. Understand them. Don't shout back. That is when confidence will come into them. You give them confidence. If you are saying, hey, it's okay, there's always another chance. Correct. Correct. You can start anytime. When you have that positive approach, that confidence will be built slowly, slowly, slowly. And as it keeps inculcating in your life, like when we drive a car for a year, you don't have to look at the gears and change. Correct, correct, correct. Yes. It will come automatically. True, the true. Same way, these are inculcated into your life. So nice that when you see the person, you know, oh, I cannot fool around with this person. Correct. It's full of positivity. Yes, yes. That is how you build. Confidence is very, very. Just get it. Basis with me. I am what I am. I am enough for everybody. That's correct. Oh my God. Latama, I'm super, super happy that I had you on my show. I'm sure my viewers and my subscribers will be so high on positivity, on to embrace life so beautifully as you do. And of course, this statement has been validated that I want to be like you. You know, I still have the same statement. The day I saw you, and even today, it is like, you know, you have been so graceful and so brave, so courageous, and so full of positivity. I thank you. I thank Venkat sir and also your sons. And also, I mean, I'm so lucky to have you as my guide, my inspiration, and as a friend, more importantly, as a friend. Thank you for coming into our lives and adding that color of positivity, Latama. Wow. Thank you so much. How can things get any better than this? I reciprocate your feelings. Thank you. Thank you. Wishing you success in all the endeavors that you venture into. All the very best. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Stay connected, guys. Look forward to other interviews with beautiful, inspiring people like Ma here. Thank you, Ma.